Knicks family, what's poppin'? Is your boy. Thank you for rejoining me. I'm glad that you're here. And ladies and gentlemen, I do want to remind you that if you are a member, a subscriber, well, you're all subscribers, but if you're a member, you can join the members only chat and hear what these guys are talking about in the background. I'm about to put that link in the video chat right now so that you can go check that out, ladies and gentlemen. These guys are always talking some stuff, so I'm pretty sure you'll enjoy it. All right, you got to be a member in order to join. All right, so here you go. I'm putting the link in the chat right now, ladies and gentlemen. And let's go ahead and get with this, man. We're going to talk about 2 late-round draft picks today. We're going to talk about Cassius Winston. We're going to talk about Kerry Lewis Jr. We all know that the New York Knicks have a late pick, right? Somewhere around the 27th pick, they got it from the Los Angeles Clippers when they traded Marcus Morris Jr., Sr., Marcus Morris Sr. When they traded Marcus Morris Sr., they got that late round draft pick from the Los Angeles Clippers. Okay? So, we're going to talk about some of these guys because who knows what's going to happen at the top of the draft. Anything can happen at the top of the draft, ladies and gentlemen. Right? The Knicks could end up picking up someone like, pick up a power forward or who knows. And if they do, and if that, because that's the best available person, well, then maybe they're going to be looking at grabbing one of these point guards towards the end of the draft. All right, big shout out to Ghost Rider. Thank you for the super chat. It says salute back to you, my brother. Okay, so let's talk about these guys. We got some guys in the chat. They're already talking, already getting it on because we just got done talking about Scott Perry. Mark is all riled up and all that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna get to some of the guys that I didn't get a chance to get to. And then, so that they can say hi, and then no. I'm just gonna go ahead and break down one of these guys, and then I'll come to the chat and ask these guys their opinions. All right. So let's first start with Cassius Winston. I know a lot of people like Kerry Lewis Jr., but let's start with Cassius Winston. And we'll move on from there. And just one more time, I want to remind you that if you want to join the members only chat, the link is in the YouTube chat right now. All right, where you can join that members only chat. You can see what they're talking about behind the scenes, right? Because if you see what I'm seeing right now, they're having some good conversations. But let's go ahead and let's break down Cassius Winston. See what you guys think about this young brother, man. Cassius Winston, he's a point guard, 6'1", 185. Listen, in today's NBA, for me at least, 6'1" is kind of small, kind of short. I'm not saying those guys cannot excel, but if you're going to be a 6'1", then guess what? You've got to have exceptional speed, in my opinion. That's not something that Cassius Winston has. But let's talk about him a little bit. Again, 6'1", 185. Played for Michigan State. He's a senior. It's an older cat. I know there's some people that in those late rounds like to get some older players because they're ready to play. I am one of those guys. I am. He's 23 years old. He's born 2/28/1997, so he just had a birthday. 1920 season, he averaged 18.5 points per game, 2.5 rebounds, 5.9 assists, 1.2 steals. 3.2 turnovers. He shot 44.8% from the field. He shot 43.2% from three. That is something that we sorely need, ladies and gentlemen. 3-point shooting, we need it. We definitely need that 3-point shooting. He shoots 85.2% from the free throw line. Now let's look at some of his strengths and weaknesses. He's a smart player. He's got a good basketball IQ. Smart, crafty type of guy. I see comparisons to Eric Snow. I kind of see, I'm not saying that he's going to be Kyle Lowry, but like he's kind of like a Kyle Lowry. He's a tough kind of player. Right? He's got good court vision, good passing. Right? He understands the game. And obviously you can see he is a decent shooter. He shoots 43.2% from the three-point line. We need that. We desperately need that type of shooting. And as I mentioned before, he's 23 years old. He's a senior. He's been through some things. Right? He is a mature player. Let's get to his areas of development. Or I don't even know if you can develop this. But he lacks speed and athleticism. And I feel like that may hurt him when he gets to the NBA. Not on the offensive side of the ball. There's plenty of ways that you can get past, not past your player, but you can get by without having super athleticism if you're smart. And he is a smart player. Right? He is a guy that has a good basketball IQ. All right. Can he defend in the NBA? It's going to be a question. That's supposed to be NBA, not NA. Can he defend in the NBA? I don't know. We'll find out. He wasn't a great defender in college. And he can be turnover prone. As you can see, he averages 3.2 turnovers per game in the 2019-2020 season. You know? And I'm looking in the chat, and I see some people that say, are you serious? We're talking about this guy. Yeah, what do you mean, am I serious? You've got to look at everybody. Okay? You got to look at everybody. You say you'd rather play Lamar Peters? Cool. You know what I'm saying? Great. You got to look at all of your prospects. The Knicks are not in a situation where they can afford to not look at everybody. All right, so we're not just breaking down players that you think or I think they should take. We're breaking down players. There's other point guards that we're going to look at as well. Right? So it's not just about, oh, yeah, this is a guy the Knicks should take. I didn't say that. We're just looking at him as a player because he'll be an option. He will be an option. That's all I'm saying. That's all that I'm saying. Right? So, Ishmael, I got your opinion on this guy. And I'm going to go around and get some other opinions on this guy. Okay? We'll get some other opinions on it. And Mars Jetson said, why not make a video about Tyrell Terry and Kira? Well, Kira Lewis is next. Got to read the titles, ladies and gentlemen. Kira Lewis is after Cassius Winston. Anyway, let me get to the guys that's here in the video chat, man, and see what they're thinking. You know, see what they're talking about. I'm going to start out with Nate, then I'll get around. And I start out with Nate because he's usually the one that's paying attention. And I can get the guy to talk. You know what I'm saying? Nate.
Yeah, man. When don't I ever not talk?
Tell me, man. Tell me what you think about the kid.
So I like Cash. I remember watching him when he was a freshman at Michigan State. I was a really big fan of him. I'm amazed that he stayed all 4 years. I thought he would have gone to the NBA somewhere around his sophomore or maybe junior year. So it says a lot about the guy as a character wanting to get his degree and all that. So props to him on that. Unfortunately, his athleticism or lack of athleticism is probably going to make him a career backup. And as far as the Knicks, I don't see the Knicks taking a shot at him at all, even 27th pick, because I think that they, like we talked about early, if they go BPA in the first pick, I think the last pick of the first round that they have, I see them actually going more on RJ Hampton or maybe that guy from Kentucky or something like that that's got some more upside. Mm-hmm. Cassius just seems to me like, you know, he kind of reminds me of Sam. He kind of reminds me of Bonzi Wells. Remember Bonzi Wells back in the day?
Bonzi Wells. Yeah, I remember Bonzi Wells. Kind of has a body like Bonzi Wells, too.
Yeah.
Not particularly cut up. You know, if you look at the picture that I had on the screen, you know, he's kind of, you know, he's not the kind of guy that's going to break down with muscles, right? He's kind of flabby a little bit. Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, he's a bigger Bonzi Wells. And, you know, Bonzi Wells was nothing special. I mean, he was a very crafty, very slow guy. I see Cassius kind of being that person. I like the guy. I think he has high character. I'm very high of Tom Izzo players. I think that they come to the NBA well coached. I just don't think that he's going to have a future as a starting point guard. He'll probably be a career backup. And right now, we're looking for a starting point guard, if anything, or a potential starting point guard. And Cassius doesn't fit that bill. So.
Now I feel you. Big shout out to Kaiser Souls. I'm not sure if I'm saying your last name right, bro, or the entire name. He said better to take the best player available and not fixate on the point guard position. Winston is undersized and athletic. Yeah, I mean he's definitely an unathletic. Yeah. And Ishmael Rivas, man,
vet team.
Huh?
He'd be good for a vet team. A vet team.
Yeah, I think he would. He'd be good for a vet team.
Like he'd be a perfect Spur player.
He would definitely be good for a vet team. I don't think he's going to be good for the New York Knicks. I definitely agree there. And Ishmael, man, you don't have to apologize to me, bro. I'm just talking stuff. You know what I'm saying? I see stuff in the chat that that gets under my skin a little bit. I'm gonna say something. That's all. You ain't got to apologize. That's what we do here. That's what we do here. I mean, I agree with you though. I don't think that Cassius Winston is going to be high on the Knicks draft board. High on the Knicks big board. He's a guy. He'll probably get drafted. He has some credentials behind him, right? Has a few credentials behind him.
Vet teams could use a point guard like that to run their offense. I mean, like I said, he's a 4-year guy, which you rarely ever hear in the NBA anymore. So
right.
he's got the experience. He's coached under Izzo, one of the best college coaches there is out there. I mean, the guy's going to know what to do. I mean, with the right team, you could just plug and play him into what you're trying to do. Maybe, like I said, he's a career backup, in my opinion.
Yeah, he he went to the Final Four, right? He won Player of the Year in the Big Ten, not overall. He is the school's all-time. He holds the school's all-time assist record. Okay, so he's got some credentials behind him. And any team wants a player that has, some of those type of credentials that's going to help them, that's going to propel that winning attitude, that winning culture. You know what I'm saying? So, although I do agree, I do not believe that he is going to be, he's really going to be on the Knicks board.
No.
I don't think he's going to be on the Knicks big board. Let me see. Rob the Knick. I'm going to come to Rob the Knick, and then I'm going to come around to Ernesto, and I try to get to Guillermo. Rob, what's going on, man? What's your take on this kid? Rob, you there? Nope, Rob ain't there. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. People don't be paying attention to what's happening and what's going on, so you can never get to these guys because they're having a conversation in the background. So when I call on them, they're never ready. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to get to some of these guys. If I can't get to them, then we'll take a couple of phone calls. Callers, make sure you call in 516-405-2246. I know you guys are listening and paying attention. All right. Make sure that you are ready to go. Siobhan, you ready? Let me see if Siobhan is ready. Siobhan ain't ready. We'll move on to Carrie Lou. Siobhan, you ready? What's going on, man?
Yeah, I'm ready. No, I'm ready.
Hey. Yeah, what's going on? What's your take on this kid, right? Man? Yeah, I'm good, man. Cassius Winston. What's your take on Cassius Winston? Can you hear me?
Cassius Winston, he's really good, man. I like him. Yeah, I can hear him. I'm breaking up. I'm breaking up hard. Hold on.
I can hear you pretty good, though.
Hold on. Go ahead. You can hear me, son?
Yeah, we can hear you clear, so go ahead.
All right. Yeah, Cassius Winston, I like him. Yeah, I like Cassius Winston. He's a winner. He's mature. His game is good. I don't think he'll be a starter, but I think he'll be like a really, really good six man. Like, I really like his game.
So,
but that's where it stops. I don't think he's gonna be your franchise point guard.
Yeah, and that's the thing. The Knicks got a lot of backup point guards, so I just don't know. That's one of the reasons why picking him probably wouldn't be, or having him there probably wouldn't be the best idea. You know what I'm saying? He's a ball player, but if he's going to be a career backup, the Knicks got backups.
Yeah.
right? We need that bona fide starter.
Yeah.
You know, we need that bona fide starter. Let me get to a phone
Yeah,
call.
and that's not what we need.
Right. Let me get to a phone call real quick. And then I'll come right back to you. Caller, you on live, man, with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping?
Yo, Sim, how you doing, bro? How's everything, man?
I'm good, bro. How you feeling?
Good. Yeah, I know you were talking about Winston. You know, I think he could be a decent backup guard, you know, combo guard. Like you said, he's not very athletic. He's kind of flabby. You know, I think, you know, I like Lewis. I know you didn't really touch on him yet, but I like Lewis a lot. But unfortunately, I think we would have to trade back up from 27, you know, at least like, you know, to like 2019 or so.
Right.
To get him. You know, to me, if we got lucky enough, obviously, to get Anthony Edwards and then trade back up, you know, and get a Kira Lewis, that would be a home run of a draft for sure. You know, that would be my, you know, home run scenario for the next draft, you know.
Right.
Who would you use to trade up? I'm not a fan of Knox. If someone likes Knox, I would give like a Knox and a DSJ and like 27th pick. I don't know how far you can get.
In order to trade up, you know, if it were me, I would try to, I would move DSJ.
Right. I mean, I think you might have to give Knox, too, to trade up like 10 spots. I would do that. I'm not a fan of either of those guys at all. So I think I would give up those two in the 27th.
I'm not giving up on Knox yet. I'm not trading Knox unless I'm trading Knox and I know I'm getting LaMelo Ball or Anthony Edwards.
Yeah. You'd rather trade up like to like 1 or 2? You mean?
I mean, what I'm saying with Kevin Knox, if I'm going to trade Kevin Knox, I'm not going to trade him from the 27th to the 17th pick.
Yeah, well,
I'm not going to do
my
that.
opinion. You know, you may probably like him more than me. I'm just not a fan, so I guess I look at him differently than you would, which I get. Everyone's different. Everyone has their different opinions on players, so I get that.
Yeah.
You know. But
yeah. I mean, if I'm gonna trade Kevin Knox, I'm gonna trade him. Like I said, you know, I'd be trying to get up into the 3rd pick or so, first, second, or 3rd pick or something like that.
Can I make a quick point about Mills, if I could, for a minute?
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, Perry, my bad.
Perry, yep.
Yeah. I was just thinking of some of the negatives and the positives, and to me, it's pretty close. I'd say, you know, the positives, like you were saying, he hasn't locked us into any bad long-term contracts. You know, Randall, we can get out of after next year. But I think I was reading we would still have to pay him about $4 million if we buy him out after next year. I could be wrong, but I think Randall, I saw we would still have to pay him like $4 million if we get rid of him, right?
Yep. So with Julius Randle, if you waive him by June 28th, 2021, then you got to pay him $4 million.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, I'm saying like, you know, like that's a positive. He hasn't traded our draft picks, you know, which is good. You know, but some of the negatives, at least as of right now, one of the biggest knocks on him to me is that the Kevin Knox pick is a top 10 pick. Right now, I'm not saying he can't improve, but as of now, that looks like one of his biggest, you know, negatives I have on him. And then, you know, he was obviously part of the KP trade, whether it was mostly Mills that wanted to do that or not. You know, he still has some imprints on it. And the one thing that I'm really nervous of is he's a lame duck GM. So the thing that's really worrying me a lot is he knows his job is on the line. So he's just going to say, screw the young kids, screw the rebuild. I'm just going to trade, you know, our assets, our future picks and young players and just try and get an established player in here. That's what's really worrying me about this because he has 1 year left. So obviously he's going to try and do something to improve this team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, here's the thing with Scott Perry. I don't think he's going to do that because he's already got a good reputation around the league. If he does that, he's going to ruin his reputation. See, Steve Mills would do something like that because he's not going to work at any other place except for the Knicks as far as basketball is concerned.
Yeah.
Scott Perry still has a career ahead of him.
Yeah, that's true.
So for him to do something like that, he'd kill his career.
Yeah.
He'd kill his career.
True.
So I don't think he's going to do that.
No, that's just the only thing. I'm just like, man, I hope, like, to me, like, those are assets. Next year's draft is amazing. The year after is an amazing draft. So those are the things I'm scared of. Just don't trade our picks, man.
Nah, I feel you. I feel you. I mean, and then of course you got Leon Rose there, right? So Leon Rose is he's got to approve everything. You know what I mean? He's got to approve it. Like Andre Ricardo just said.
Yeah.
You know, Leon Rose can stop any dumb trade. So, hey, I appreciate the call, man. I'm about to get to Guillermo, and then I'm gonna come back and take some calls.
Thanks a lot, bro.
I appreciate it.
All right, man.
All right, peace. All right, Guillermo, I'm coming to you now, man, and then I'm gonna take a call. Guillermo, what's going on, man?
Hold on, Rob.
Yep. What's going on, Guillermo?
Yo, I'm chilling, Sim. How you doing, bro?
I'm good. I think I already probably know your take on Cassius Winston, but what's your take on him? And then after this, I'm gonna get to Kira Lewis Jr. and let you comment on him.
Cassius Winston. I mean, I like him. It's crazy because you know who he reminds me of. Even though he doesn't play necessarily like him, but he has like that He's like the perfect college guard. You remind me of Mateen Cleaves, who also played at Michigan State.
Mateen, yes, he did play at Michigan State. Mateen Cleaves, yeah.
They have like that bulldog mentality, right? Like in college, they're gonna make those clutch shots, everything. But when you watch his game, it like, can you say it's gonna translate to NBA? Like, don't get me wrong. Look, he is shooting great from the field. His 3-point percentage this season was 43.2%. He's averaging for his I don't know the average for the 4 years. They just told me all 4 years, but it's near that 40% mark. You know what I mean? Like this kid can ball. I'm not taking that away from him. His free throw percentage is at 85.2. So it's just tough because you look at he's not explosive, right? He's not the most explosive player. When he shoots, his form is not. People are gonna kill me, right? But his form, it's like when he jump kicks. So it's like it seems like he puts a lot of energy into his shot. So it's not as if like physically, like his body is just machine-like when he shoots, right? So it could be exerting a lot of energy, and you have to trust that he's gonna be in tip-top shape all the time. When you look at him, I'm not saying he's fat, and he doesn't look like lean or like his body's not gonna be putting on weight if he's not extra careful in his dieting and all that stuff, right?
Yes,
he's
I agree.
185. I mean, that's just not gonna fly with some of these guys. And I understand, look, the defenses aren't there, but you simply playing against another guard who's at least 6'4", above 200. It don't matter if he's not playing defense. If you're trying to muscle him, or if you're any physicality near him, and you don't have the quickness to kind of get by him, if you're not a Trae Young, you have like a little hezzy, you're gonna suffer just physically. So as much as I like him, again, he looks like he's probably gonna be a guy who's gonna have to work up from the backup position if he wants to have an NBA. Now, look, like I said, the free throw percentage is at 85.2, so it means he can shoot.
Mm-hmm.
Because his form isn't, to me, it doesn't look automatic. I know people kill me, but it doesn't look automatic. He seems like a guy that if he loses confidence, that he's not going to be able to rely on that shot just because it doesn't look gym rat. Like there's certain guys like, look, Ray Allen, for instance, understand Ray Allen's a Hall of Famer. I'm not comparing him directly to him, but Ray Allen, if Ray Allen had a bad night on the field, like say if he was like 3 for 15, but when he's going to the line, he's going to be money from the line. Like you never feel like Ray Allen mentally is not going to be there at the line just because he had that gym rat form, right? It's always going to be there at the easiest lowest denominator type situations. And with Cassius, I'm not itching on him. It's just I don't see it. If this guy's more explosive, he had like little quickness like Trae Young, where he could create that separation off of the hezzy. You know what I mean? I would be like, hey, this boy, give me this dude. I mean, look, he has good core vision, everything, but again, he's gonna have to work from the point the back roll. I would not take him in the first round. If he was in a second round, undrafted, that would be undrafted. But if he was in a second round, maybe you take a flyer on him. But when I always compare this guy, like look at Lamar Peters now in the G League, right? When we talk about smaller point guards, do we take a guy like Cassius Winston over a guy like Lamar Peters? You save up that draft capital, maybe pick another underrated guy that you can maybe build up from Clay, maybe one of these 6'7" small forwards that maybe a little bit raw, or do you waste on Cassius Winston while Lamar Peters? Because Lamar Peters in the G League, he improved his shooting. Because remember in college, everybody said, "Oh, he's a dribbling head and all that stuff." This guy improved his shooting. The guy was able to take his man to the basket. He looked a lot better. I mean, I understand it's G League, but hey, I mean, do you take Lamar Peters? You give him a spot. You try to get a look at him, or you take a guy like Cassius. So I'd rather take Lamar Peters and use that draft capital elsewhere, unless it's second round maybe, or I doubt he'd be undrafted. But again,
the only thing I would say, I mean, I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing with you. The only thing I would say, about the thing with Lamar Peters is, versus Cassius Winston. Yes, a guy can be younger and you might think they have more upside. or whatever it is. You also got to look at the basketball IQ part of it and the feel for the game and those type of things, and say to yourself, does Lamar Peters, is he going to develop that same type of feel for the game, right? That same type of maturity for the game. You got to ask yourself that, the same way that, the same thing that Cassius Winston has now. Now, Cassius Winston is 2 years older than him. Lamar Peters is going to be 22 in June. Cassius Winston just turned 23. So, that's some things that you got to look at as well, But I know what you're saying. I get what you're saying. So, he's not that much younger than Cassius Winston, to tell you the truth.
No. And I agree with you, too. So the only thing I'll say about Cassius Winston, though, is that when I looked at his scouting report in college, right, they talk about him being a dribble head and him. I watched highlights from the G League games, and this guy was putting up, like, even though it's a G League and it's extreme, these guys, their guys just put up 15 assists, 20 assists. And I'm not saying that assists are a tell-all be-all, but for the fact that it seems like he's opened up his game to be more facilitator, that just makes me be like, maybe there's something there. You know what I mean? Maybe it's something. At the very least, if he's the guy that we have and don't have to use a draft pick, you know what I mean? I will at least give him that look. But look, I like Cassius Winston. It just sucks because and I love guys the players who they spend time in college. You know what I mean? Outside the whole money thing, I think that's messed up. But I love when you see players where they develop in college, especially for a point guard, because I feel like that is the hardest position, especially now in the NBA. We can talk about the age and that stuff, but to me, I'd rather take a kid who's 22, 23, come out of college versus a kid who's 18, who's less refined. And many times they look at the money, they good, and they don't really improve from that. You know what I mean? I'd rather take a guy who's in college to improve his game and is more heady, and you could build a system around the kid, right? You know what I mean? So, all in all, I like Cassius Winston. I just wish you could put Cassius Winston in like Killian Hayes' body, or like in like LaMelo's body. Right? You take that mindset, take that ability to shoot at the line, take that shooting ability, period, that dog. I'm not saying LaMelo doesn't have it, but to me, again, college outweighs the NBL to me. I don't care what no one says that. I don't want to hear it. Unless you're playing, Greek Olympiacos or one of the top tier leagues in Europe, but I oversee stuff, and especially the fact that LaMelo wasn't shooting at great percentages in the NBL, despite the fact that he was a guy on his team. Give me the college any day, but to me, Cassius Winston is just I don't know. I've seen a lot of college guards, man. I was a big Kyle El-Ami fan from UConn, and I was not a UConn fan, but that was my dude. I've seen Jay Williams. I understand a car accident, but I've seen a lot of these guys in team cleats. Like I said, a lot of these college guards who are dogs, but that lack of athleticism, that little lack of burst, that little move, that little hezzy, it holds them back once again in the NBA, man. So.
Nah, I feel you. So let's talk about a guy that has that elite quickness. And I'm going to come right back to you, all right, Guillermo? I'm coming right back to you. Let's talk about a guy that has that elite quickness. We're going to talk about Kerry Lewis Jr. because this kid has speed, right? And he's projected to be, somewhere towards the middle to the end of the draft, the middle to the draft to maybe 21, 22, 23, somewhere in between there. Who knows? Right? He's 6'3". He weighs 165 pounds, so he's small. Okay? Small. Which means usually he's fast. You're 6'3", 165. You better be fast. Played for Alabama. He's a sophomore. He's 19 years old. He just turned 19. He averaged 18.5 points per game, 4.8 rebounds, 5.2 assists, 1.8 steals. He did average 3.5 turnovers per game. He shot 45.9% from the field. Shot 36.6% from three. It's not terrible. He can improve. All right. He shot 80.2% from the free throw line. So he can shoot it. Just got to be able to make it a little bit better at a higher clip. It's not bad. I'm just saying hopefully he can make it at a higher clip. Let's look at his strengths. Obviously, the first thing that jumps out at you, he's got the elite quickness, the elite first step. Right? The guy can motor. He can move. He can get up and down the floor. He's speed. Right? He's going to remind a lot of people of De'Aaron Fox with the type of speed that he possesses. He has a good change of direction and pace. To have that kind of speed, He can stop on a dime and cross it over. He be going right, boop, 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 stop, bam, and cross it over to his left. That is almost impossible to stop. When someone can come up the floor 85 miles an hour and then change directions that quick, and he can stop on a dime and change pace, stop on a dime and slow up, and then go the other direction, bam. He's not the type of guard, and listen, I like players like this. He's not the type of guard that's going to sit and do a whole bunch of in and outs in between the legs, behind the backs to go by you, right? He'll hit you with a one-move crossover, one move behind the back, one move between the legs, and go. I'd much rather that, because that means your decision-making is much quicker. When you're standing there playing around with the ball, everyone's standing and watching, waiting to see what you're going to do. I like players that take that one-move burst to the basket and then make a decision. He has good court vision. Right? He does a good job getting into the paint and then dipping it out, getting it out to someone, getting it out to three-point shooters. You better have some good three-point shooters if you're going to have this guy on your team, because they'll be open, because everyone's going to be afraid at the speed at which he can penetrate the lane. Areas of development. Better finisher. I think it should be a better finisher at the rim. If you watch some games, there'll be times when he blows past his guy and gets in and he'll let up and miss the layup. So he's got to work on that floater. And sometimes when you have guys that have a lot of speed, it does take a little bit more time for them to be able to slow down at the rim, because they got speed. A little bit more time for them to learn how to control their body in that manner or hit that floater, because they got that inertia, right, still pushing them forward because they have so much speed booked up behind them. That inertia still pushes them forward, so it's hard to get a good measure of where the rim is at sometimes. So that's something he's going to have to work on. Improve his shooting. 36.6% is not bad. That is college, though. Right? So 36%, almost 37%. It's not terrible. If he can get that up to 38, 39%, and still have that speed, he can really be dangerous. Really be dangerous. Then I think his decision-making and turnovers, you'll see a lot of times, we talked about the speed of him being able to get into the lane and then he can kick it out. Sometimes he goes into the lane and gets in the air, doesn't have a place to pass to. Gets himself into a situation. So some of that is just going to come with playing basketball, right? Experience in playing basketball. Learning to stay on your feet. That's one thing that I was told in high school before I moved on to college. I was told by a referee. They were like, yo, you come down and you jump in the air on every play. Now you jumped in the air, there's nothing you can do. And I'm not saying he does it on every play, but, that's one of the things that I've seen him do. Gets himself in trouble sometimes going into the lane. Gets in there and doesn't have an idea, a plan of what am I going to do when I get in here. But this guy could be a good pickup if you're talking someone that's 17, 18, 19. If he would have dropped to 27, that's almost a no-brainer. I doubt he's going to drop to 27. But, Guillermo, what do you think about this guy and what his future might be in the league? Talking about Kara Lewis Jr.
Yeah, I like Kara Lewis, man. Like at first, I was trying to make the comparison to Colin Sexton a little bit, but they're different, right? Colin Sexton is like just pure speed, right? At Alabama, he was a heavy volume scorer because he was basically the only option. When you watch Kara Lewis, he does have that nice change of pace. He ain't like my man Penny Hardaway. Go watch Penny Hardaway when he first came with that little change of pace through the legs. That was one of the best moves in the NBA. But anyway, just want to shout out Penny Hardaway. I was watching some video and I got hyped up for it again. But he does have nice change of pace when he drives to the basket, right? He looks like a bona fide scorer, guard scorer, right? I'm not sure that this is a guy like his quarterback is not bad at all. But I was reading scouting reports and I wish I had access to more videos. But they're saying that he prefers when he's like in a pick and roll, he prefers to pass out to the perimeter, right? And that's not necessarily a good thing when you're talking about guys who kind of carve out the pick and roll. Even Frank. Say what you want about Frank. Frank has that nice little patience where he can kind of ride on the hip of the point guard and wait for Mitchell Robinson to kind of get open and he makes that little cut pass, right? Little nice slick pass through and gets to the guys cutting him, whether it be Randall or RJ, or Mitch. And that's something I'm not necessarily sure that's something you could teach. We've seen DSJ kind of struggle with that. He can't make that read. And we need a point guard who can facilitate that situation out. And me, Kara Lewis, like you said, he drops to 27. I'm taking this dude. I like the kid scoring, but again, he reminds me in terms of his ability to score. It's Trier. You know what I mean? So when you look at Kara Lewis, and yes, the playing styles are different, right? Why not take a guy? Why take a guy in Kara Lewis who you still have to kind of build up, right? And who we don't know what happens in the NBA. The guy could be a total flop. The guy could be a Hall of Fame. We have no idea. But why take him when you have a guy who's literally just like him in Trier, who's been a team and who's shown strides? I don't care what no one says. Like I said again, Trier's shown stride this year, and he's not getting playing time. If you can eliminate whatever that BS was with him not getting playing time, whatever, if it's an agent thing and make him a committed part of this team, do you take a Kara Lewis who's going to be a redundant player in the same 6'3", 180, 160, whatever the hell he is? You know what I mean? But just on Kara Lewis himself, man, I like the kid. I think that 36% from three, I mean, that's around league average. He could get better to me. The kid is a pure scorer. He could be his man to the dribble. He has that mindset. But he does go. Look, he's not total tunnel vision when he drives on time, but I think like 85% of the time when he's making that move to the basket, he's looking to score. You know what I mean? I don't think he's a guy who's going to sit there and facilitate an offense. He's not a Chris Paul. He's not going to catch a guy on the hip and kind of wait and all that stuff. So you're taking him as a scoring guard, which means you got to push RJ to the three, and then you have to make a commitment to a guy like Frank, right? Unless this guy's out to 27, you got the Killian Hayes and him. You have him, Killian Hayes, and RJ at the three. Maybe that works. Maybe you put him as a scoring guard. You play more of a smaller lineup and just have three demons out there who could drive from the wing. What's his boy's not Kara Lewis. Killian Hayes is going to sit there. You have him and Mitch kind of run that pick and roll. Bring a guy like Axon, run the pick and roll, and pass it to a Kara Lewis or RJ Wayne on the wing. It could work. I'm not saying it can't work, but when you do that, you have to have a defined plan for this guy. I mean, you cannot put Kara Lewis in and do the whole Tariq Evans thing, right? You have a guy who works on the first year because they're at a position where they have an advantage, and in the second year or half in the year, we kind of change it up. You got to give your young kids that. You got to kind of give them, a place to push out their strengths, right? Kara Lewis, the guy is going to take his guy from up top of the key, perimeter from the wing, be his man to the basket, score. If guys collapse on him, and I read the scout report, they said that when bodies come at him, he's coming into the paint. Sometimes he gets scared. And that's sometimes where he gets some of his turnovers from, right? So he has to work on that. But to strengthen that, you got to put them in a position of strength. So you put all three guys in position of strength. Killian Hayes working off the pick and roll. RJ Barrett from the wing come to the basket as a three, and have Kara Lewis coming in as your scoring two. I'm not against it. We just need to have a defined role for
and listen, I think if you're looking at you want to get a point guard in the draft, right? If at the top of the draft you end up taking someone like Obi Toppin, then down at the bottom of the draft, you might be looking at a Kara Lewis. You know what I'm saying? The thing with
Kara Lewis is DSJ. DSJ, when he was at NC State, was mostly athleticism. I don't think that's the same with Kara Lewis, because when you watch his game, he does have hezzy to his movement. When he drives to the basket, there are a few plays where he sees the angle where he knows he can't dunk it from the baseline. I've seen highlights where he's driving to the basket one way, and then he kind of takes that step to get better positioning and then make the layup. So it's not pure athleticism. I'm just trying to yam it all the time and beat a man to the basket. He does have, I don't know what you call it, natural instinct or IQ, but he definitely has the moxie to be able to facilitate kind of move around the paint once he gets into to create a shot. So I don't think he's DSJ. People saying he's a pass. It's just, I don't know. And look, I'm not saying he's not a good passing PG. I didn't say that at all. I'm just saying that you watch off his games. It's not like you see. There's certain guys where you see little flashes of elite level passing, elite level thinking when he passes. And I think with Kara Lewis, because I don't know what the system is down there in Alabama, but it seems like he's asked to carry a lot of the scoring load. Once he makes his move, I don't think it's like, all right, in my head, I beat my man to kind of draw another defender in and then pass to the guy that just became open because his defender came. I think it's, hey, I'm looking to score, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But, you know, when people say above average passing, maybe, well, I'm not saying I don't see the elite level passing like you see from some other guards that have come into the game.
Now,
I like him. I'm just saying we better have a defined role for him where we're not forcing him to be something else. And then we're sitting here 3-4 years down the line, you know, the whole Frank thing again, right? Have a defined role for him if you draft him. You know what I mean? And make him operate from and then work on his weaknesses, but don't make it, yo, you're gonna be this. I mean, and it's like, all right, that's not his game really, and now he's losing confidence, and now he's looking like Kevin Knox. You know what I mean? So
Now, see, the thing with Trier for me is I see them as, I feel like they're two different players. Like Trier is the kind, you know, needs the ball in his hands to go ahead and create and do this and do that. I feel like Kira Lewis will give it up a little bit quicker than Trier. Plays a different style of game to me. So I still do think that you could, you know, I mean, listen, the Knicks, no matter what they do, they're going to have to clean up this whole glut at guard. And I think this is going to happen naturally with guys wanting to, you know, guys leaving, guys moving. You know, that whole thing is going to be cleaned up pretty quick, I think. You know, but hey, let me get to this phone call. All right. And let Ernesto know I'm trying to come to him. All right.
All right. Got you.
All right, let me get to this phone call. Caller, you on live, man. What's popping? Caller, you on live. What's popping?
Hey, what's up, Tim?
What's going on with you, man?
So
what's your take, man? Kevin Lewis. What's your take on the kid?
Oh, this is my guy. This is the guy, I think, point guard-wise, if you don't get Melo, I want Kira Lewis. And top 5 on my board, I'd have him 5. You know?
Okay.
Because point guard is such a dire need for our team, I think you can't take a chance on projects, and I think Kira Lewis, he's going to suffer from not having the combine and having the tournament and having all that exposure. Because he played well last year. I like him because he's a second-year player, not a one-and-done. You know, he averaged almost 14 last year. This year, almost the same amount of minutes. And, you know, he bumped it up to 18, bumped up all his stats. He shoots 80% from the free throw. Means he can shoot. And he just, that shiftiness and that speed, can't teach it. You know, that's why John Wall.
So let me ask you: are you trying to trade up from the 27th pick? If we end up with that 27th pick, are you trying to package something, trade up and get them? Depending on what we take, depending on what happens at the top of the draft.
I don't know. I'd have to see where we get drafted, because like where we get picked. Because if we're top 3, no, I trade to get them. If we're top 3, but we don't end up with LaMelo, like if we get Obi Toppin with the 3rd pick.
Well, that's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. It depends on what happens at the top of the draft. If at the top of the draft we end up taking a power forward, then you might be looking to take this guy.
Yeah, if it's not LaMelo, because I just think LaMelo, I like him. I like that kid. Okay. But I mean, I just think he's going to score in the NBA. I think he's going to come in and give you 12 points. 5 rebounds right off the rip. If he hits his free throws,
you're a little bit muffled, man. You're a little bit muffled.
Oh, I'm sorry. The way he gets to the basket, and the fact that he hits 80% of his free throws, I mean, he could score 12 points, 12 to 15 points easy as a rookie. That's with that speed and that shiftiness alone. So, and then I like playing downhill because you got Mitch who can run, you got Kevin and RJ on the wing. That'll be a nice little run down the field.
All right.
So,
well, hey, my man, listen, I appreciate the call. I only got a few minutes left because I'm going over to the front stoop. So anybody that wants to join me on the front stoop, please join me there. I'll be on at 11:55. All right, I'm gonna get around to some more video chatters and callers. All right.
All right, no doubt. Thank you very much.
I appreciate it. Get to another call, then I'm gonna get to Ernesto.
Yeah.
Caller, you on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping, bro?
Hey, how you doing, Sam?
I'm good, man. How you feeling?
I'm feeling great, man. I like what you're doing with your show. I love the show. I watch the show. I see all the characters.
Appreciate that,
Gurmo.
man. We definitely got some characters up there. Definitely got some characters
I'm
up
from Queens. I'm in LA, and I'm telling you, you got the fans out here too. And I just wanted to say I love Carol Lewis Jr. I'm not going to talk about Cassius Winston. It's a beautiful thing. He could be good in other players. But Carol Lewis is a sophomore. He has experience. He's done the same thing 2 years in a row. He's fast. He passes the ball. I saw him destroy Cole Anthony. But we talking about drafting Cole Anthony. I just can't understand that. And Killian Hayes, the character from France, he's nice. But nobody out there that they're talking about. Lewis is the best point guard. He's next to Ja Morant. And we can have this guy. We just gotta go up on the second draft pick. We pick the best player available with the first and go after Carolyn. Now, if we're blessed to get that number one draft pick, it's definitely Anthony Edwards. I'm not looking at ball. And when they said Chicago picking Anthony Edwards, they said that's the next Michael Jordan, and we talking about ball. Come on. You get that, like the caller said before, that's a beautiful draft pick. But my thing is, Carol Lewis can change the direction. That's what we need to do. The culture needs to change, and the core needs to change. The young core, we got to play the young players. Keep the young players. Get rid of those one-year guys. In the way, develop our youth. Stop looking in the backyard of other players. Oh, this one wants to come to the Knicks. That one wants to come to the Knicks. And every time they come to the Knicks, they just want to prop their brand. They're not coming for the team. We need team players going forward. Bring back the 70s. Bring back those guys when anybody on that court was dangerous. We don't need a limited team. Okay. And Carol can be the start of that. Carol Lewis. And then, what's his name? Jalen Smith. Do you know Jalen Smith right now has better moves than Mitch? And I love Mitch, but Jalen is right there, and they're outside the lottery. The Knicks are the big boys. They got to play like the big boys. They can make moves, anything it takes to rebuild through this draft and go forward with your young core. And I don't want to say anything bad, but last year Steve Mills played a video game with R.J. Barrett. And you know Atlanta came to them with that deal. They were going to give them the pick. They would have been able to get Cam Reddish and Brandon Clark with those picks. And look at those picks now. I think that would have been lovely to start the rebuild. But we got RJ. RJ's a hard worker, but I'm telling you, you need flexible. And we're looking to put RJ at the wing because we know he's not a two. He's not a point guard. We can get guys, Makar. There's a kid named Derek Alston. Beautiful. His father works. Matter of fact, I think his father is the trainer of the Knicks in the G League. That's not the coach. We can get these guys. They're available now. We got to stop waiting. And I hope Leon Rose is listening to your show because it's very informative. These guys on this show that talk, they are informative. We got to be on code and try to get all-round players, not limited one-dimensional players that'll never move the Knicks forward.
All right. Hey, I feel you. I'm with you, man. I appreciate it. Hey, I appreciate the call, bro.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right,
and I
be
appreciate
safe out there,
your
man.
show. And give it a hands up and a thumbs up, bro. God bless everybody.
That's it. Thank you. I appreciate it. You guys heard him, man. Smash that like button, ladies and gentlemen. Hit that like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. All right, ring that notification bell. Ernesto, I'm coming to you, man. Ernesto, what's going on? You ready? Nah, Ernesto's not. Ernesto ain't ready. Mark, it's on you, brother. What's going on, Mark? Hey, Mark.
Thank you.
Mark, you there?
Man, smash that like button.
Mark ain't ready. Nate, it's on you, bro. Oh, hold up, Nate. There you go.
So when I saw Carol Lewis's game, like some videos, you know who I thought I saw a little bit? I could be wrong, but I just kind of saw it in my eyes. I saw Darren Collison. He's got some wiggle like Darren Collison. Like he's got speed, he's got burst. He can get to the basket. Doesn't look really athletic, but he's quick. I saw Darren Collison. What do you think?
Could could be. Darren Collinson, maybe is he going to be the defender Darren Collinson is?
Probably not.
We'll see. We'll see how that goes in the NBA. He's going to be a good one, though. I really think he's going to be a good one.
Yeah, I mean, it's really going to be interesting to see because we haven't seen a lot of Alabama guards come out and be successful. The only one that's Colin Sexton go ahead.
Yeah. Hey Nate, I'm going to unmute Mark. Get Mark in here with you. All right, go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, that's cool.
Sim.
Yes, sir.
Whatever we do, right? We have to get our hand on this kid. He has an upside where I don't know why teams have him. I think around 15 to 20. I think this kid could be. To me, he's the second best guard in this draft. When I mean this kid does everything you want a guard to do: push the pace, control the game. His impact on the game is marvelous. He can catch and shoot. He don't necessarily need the ball. He can defend. He can attack the paint at will, and his speed is undeniable. If the Knicks could take that 27 pick, I don't care. If you even dangle Knox, I will dangle Knox in that 27 pick. Get me that kid because it's to a point. I'll be okay with him starting for the Knicks coming this year. I really think this kid has the moxie and the juice. Because I think, to me, again, it's one of those things where I think he has a talent to be like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. That's the type of talent I think he has. Okay. Because he has the floater. The dude could shoot. He can shoot off the dribble and create for others. His pick and roll game is what you want. He keeps his dribble. And what he does so underratedly, a lot of guards don't do, when he's coming down on transition, he keeps his dribble to keep the defender loose. And he can get a basket anytime he wants. But what I love about the kid is how he can control the game as a point guard. And that is the number one thing. And this if we don't get LaMelo. This is if we went and got the first round pick, because I'm taking Edwards with the number round pick, and I'm getting Kara Lewis. I need that guy on my team. I need him on my team because I think he should be top 10. I really think he should be top 10. Honestly,
coming out?
Honestly, I like Sadie Bay, but I love Kara Lewis. Those are my two guys. Let me ask you this. Would you be happy if the Knicks ended up getting Sadie Bay and Kara Lewis? Yo, bro,
and not getting Anthony Edwards and LaMelo, or Anthony Edwards or LaMelo or Obi Toppin, or if they got Saddiq Bey and Kara Lewis, would you feel good about it?
You know why I'll be fine with that? Because I got two players. I know what they're capable of. I know what they're capable of, man. Do you understand? I hear people talking about Killian Hayes. I don't want to wait another 4 years for that, okay? I want a player that has – when you just watch the kid, Sim, when you watch Kara Lewis, there's nothing he cannot do on the floor as a guard. Seriously. And he's averaging 5 assists in college. And you know how hard it is to get assists in college? Do people understand how hard it is?
I agree with you.
To even create space in college? And he's already averaging 18 and 5. 18 and 5.
Then what's his shooting?
18 and 5. He could defend. He's 6'4", and he has room to grow. But his upside is undeniably there. Compared
he shoots like Nate. He shoots like 45% from the field and 36% from three, almost 37% from three.
Okay.
He shoots like 80-something% from the free throw line.
Sim, imagine a kid with space. You have to look at.
I know.
You have to look at it if he's in the NBA with that speed and the space that the NBA has. Oh my God! Do you know how many open shots he's going to create for guys around him? But that
Mark,
speed and the impact of him controlling the game. That is the most thing that I'm glaring at the most. Because I told you, if Dennis Smith had that way of controlling the game, I'd have been fine with him. But if you can't control the game to some capacity as a point guard, you can't play. You're not going to be a valuable NBA player. Because a lot of guards that come off the bench, they have some sort of impact on the game, like Fred VanVleet. You watch Nick Collison. Because I hear you talking about the WInstn kid. I think he's a college player, Sam. I think he's a third-string point guard in the NBA. Honestly,
You could be right.
I think he's a third string because number one, he's been in college for 4 years. He kind of remind me of Jeremy Grant. That's what he reminds me of.
So let me ask you, how high are you taking Kira Lewis? How high would you take him?
I would take him 10. I would take him 10. Or as much as I like him, if I have 8, 9, or 10, and I can't, I might take him. I really do. Because I think his upside is incredible. I have the same confidence that I had that year that we took Knox instead of Shane Gilgeous. And I think he's a little more aggressive than Shane Gilgeous. Shane is smooth. But this kid right here, Sim, he is aggressive. I don't think no one's gonna stop him from doing what he's gonna do.
He's not that big, bro.
I think his potential is beyond.
Okay.
I think it's beyond, bro.
Okay.
I think it's beyond. Because I heard there's a trade that the Knicks can do to even get to 16. We could trade to Timberwolves for the James Johnson contract and their 16th pick, and we'll give them Randall, Dennis Smith Jr., I think Wayne Elton to.
How much James Johnson make?
I know his deal come off. I don't care. He defends. I don't care. I really don't care.
But you got to know how much he makes in order to, you got to make the salaries match.
Oh no, I think the salary, I think he's coming off a $53 million, $58 million deal. So I think he's hovering around like 15, 17. And remember the 16th pick. And I think we have to give up another player, something like that. They have to give us another player. But it's that 16th pick that I want. But I think the Kira Lewis, that's if teams like him, because this draft is more about team needs than want. So I think right now they have him between 16 and 20. But if you like him, I'll take him earlier than that because I think he's the second best guard in the draft. In the draft, because he destroyed Cole. He destroyed Cole Anthony. Cole Anthony could do Sim, the speed alone.
His speed is incredible. Ain't no doubt about that. His speed is incredible.
And Sim, he has control of his speed. He knows when to stop and go.
Right.
He
That's
knows
why
when to stop and go.
That's why he's got that great. And that's what I was saying earlier. The ability to have that kind of speed and then stop and cross over on a dime. That's
Sim,
tough to stop for anybody, Sim, even in the NBA. That's just tough to stop.
Sim, and the best thing you love about a point guard, he can go left and right.
Yeah, he can.
He can go left and right and he can use his right and left hand. This kid, and I wonder what took you so long because the night you did this, he was on my board. It was him. In the 20s, it was him and Isaiah Stewart. That's another guy we should talk about because that 4-man that we will love, he is perfect.
Well, I can't put all the bangers. I can't put all the bangers in one show, or nobody's gonna tune in for the other shows. Yeah. You gotta have some bangers in some of the other shows,
Yeah. He's not a banger he's not a banger on people's radar. He's one of those players where if you watch him, he's like Montrell Harris. Like that's what he's like. He's project, but he could shoot and space the floor, and he's much more stronger, and he likes to bang. So when you have a chance on your time, you watch the kid. But Kira Lewis, no doubt about it. I think he's a lottery pick, no doubt about it. He has the floater, he has the shoot. There's nothing he can't do on the floor. There's nothing he can't do on the floor right now.
We see what happens, man. We're gonna see what happens. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you guys, man. Please smash that like button. There's 340 people here. 340 likes, please. 341 likes. Smash that like button. Hit that like button for me. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please subscribe to the channel. Okay? We got like 3 minutes left, man, before I'm supposed to start up the front stoop. Mark, I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, no doubt,
I'm heading over to the front stoop. All right,
bro.
so ladies and gentlemen, please jump over to the front stoop with me. All right, I'm putting the link in the YouTube chat right now. And I'm going over to the front stoop. We'll be on there for about an hour, and we're just talking hip-hop music, man. Listen. Tupac Shakur filed for unemployment. What's that all about? We're going to talk about that. All right, what's that all about? The Lost Boys, if you listen to hip-hop, man, the Lost Boys dropped the album. Ghostface is going to be managing. He's going to be producing the next Wu-Tang album. Don't know when it's going to drop. But we're going to talk about all of these things and more. All right, we'll probably get into a little bit of this, the Ball family signing with Rock Nation as well. We'll probably talk about that over there. So, ladies and gentlemen, please join me on the Front Stoop. I'm putting the link in the chat. Subscribe to the Front Stoop for me. All right, so I want you to subscribe to it. Come over and talk. We're just going to talk hip-hop, man. All right, I appreciate you guys. I'm heading over to the Front Stoop right now. All right, the link is right here in the chat. It's also in the description of this video, so you can check it out there. All right, and I'll catch you guys over on the Front Stoop, ladies and gentlemen. Be peaceful, be safe. As always, I appreciate you guys, man, for always jumping on and spending time with me. All right, I definitely appreciate it, and I'll catch you on the Front Stoop, ladies and gentlemen. So, again, the link is in the chat. My people on Sportscaster, I appreciate you guys for being here. Emily, Texas, thank you for sending me the tip on Sportscaster. You guys can join me on the Front Stoop as well. Come talk some hip hop music, man. All right, I'm out, ladies and gentlemen. Subscribe to me on the Front Stoop right now. The link is in the chat. You can subscribe to the channel, and I'm out, ladies and gentlemen. Be peaceful, be safe, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Peace.